Hey everyone, welcome back to the Chesapeake Film Festival podcast. We are super excited to have you here today for our next episode. I am really honored for today's podcast. I have a guest on who, she is absolutely a mentor. She's been a mentor to me for years. I continue to learn so much from her, and she's given me incredible opportunity. And she's one of the most inclusive artists that I've ever met. She also is the executive director and artistic director of our film festival. She wears many hats, and gosh, we're just thrilled to have her today. So before I introduce her, I would like to say we are very excited that our festival is less than a month away. So what that means is go out and get your tickets. You can go to ChesapeakeFilmFestival.com. All information about films are there, about tickets are there. So have at it. We're very excited. Go there, get your tickets. And Sid, welcome. Tell us all about yourself.
Oh, Irene, thank you so much. Well, now that we're on the festival, let's kind of stay there for a little while. We want to thank our sponsors, and I want to tell you a little bit about what's going to happen and share that with our viewers. And there's already so much buzz. It's such a thrilling thing, and I must say thank you for that wonderful introduction. But it's such a thrilling thing to have the opportunity to be an artistic director of a film festival, no matter what the size. Ours is located on the eastern shore of Maryland. We're really hopefully speaking to people in this region about what we do annually. This year every year it seems to get better and better and better. But this has to do with the fact that we have an incredible team. We're a small network of sorts. We're a tribe, and our tribe involves our patrons. It involves our sponsors. It involves all of our filmmakers that this year are coming from around the world. We have a filmmaker coming from Ireland. We have filmmakers coming from Los Angeles, New York, Dallas. And this is an opportunity for people in the region and our community in the Easton area to come meet these filmmakers, to come see these films, and to share with them their stories. So our opening feature on Friday, October 10th at 12 noon is called Loving Vincent. I don't want to be a spoiler to tell you too much about this film, but it definitely was up for an Oscar. It also won Best Animated Feature at the Berlin International Film Festival. And it brought 125 artists together to paint 65,000 frames to create this film. So it's a gorgeous piece. And we've also got 3 art professionals, well, 4 of us really, speaking after the film. We're bringing in Rebecca Louisa Smith, who's flying in from Dallas, and she's the festival doctor. She's here, she's coming in so she can speak with emerging artists, help them navigate the festival circuit, help them understand what they have to do in order to get their foot through the door and to really, really become more established in the trade. So Rebecca will be there to talk after our opening film, as will Anke van Wagenberg. She is with the International Federation of the Arts and was formerly a curator at the Academy Art Museum. And finally, we have Gail Patterson, who is the director of the new gallery Spiralis in Easton. So it promises to be a really wonderful kickoff for the festival. Then we roll into our first shorts program. And I'm not going to tell you a lot about them because we have 58 films coming through. So we would have to stay on an hour and a half for us to cover everything. But I do want to tell you about one film, and that is included in the first set of shorts. It is called Shelter, and it is receiving the best Spotlight on Maryland film. And I don't want to be a spoiler, but it's a magnificent film, one of the finest we received. And this is Anita Gruner's film, and she's flying in from Ireland. This will be her first film festival. and it's a magnificent film. She did it in conjunction with the Interfaith Homeless Shelter here in Easton, and they will also be on hand to talk about the magnitude of the problem with those who are unhoused and what's being done in this county to help counteract the difficulty that these people have. So that's one of the shorts that we've got. Then we roll into our VIP reception, which everybody always loves. This year we're serving pizza and popcorn, as well as Prosecco, a lot of peas in there. But we've got young people coming who are so excited to help document all the filmmakers coming through, the opportunity for sponsors and patrons to meet the filmmakers. And then that evening, we roll into our first major environmental program. I usually toss to Irene on this. Because she is a magnificent and highly talented environmental advocate. As a producer, as a director, and we're bringing her film in called The Bonobo Connection. That will actually, that block of films starts with a film called Kenya, Women of Impact, or it might be Women of Impact Kenya, but that's a gorgeous short. And that was produced by the World Wildlife Fund. And that evening, Irene will be addressing all of you about these films, what the impact is and why they're so important. The feature we have on opening night, which is Friday, October 10th, is called The Grand Salmon. And it's the story of 4 women who canoe or kayak across 1,000 miles across the United States to track for us what the plight to a certain degree. I hate to use that word, but so many animals in the world are endangered. So many of our species and our wildlife and our forests and our tributaries are being endangered. So this is part of what the mission is for the Chesapeake Film Festival. We highlight and really, really go to bat for great environmental films and environmental advocates. Joining Irene that night will be Maggie Stogner, who teaches at the American University. Her film will be shown the following day at the Talbot County Free Library. Let's just flow right into that. There's going to be really exciting activity at the Talbot County Free Library on Saturday, as well as the Academy Art Museum. We have 4 shorts programs, which may not seem like many, but there's almost 10 shorts in every block. So you have an opportunity to experience all kinds of different stories, all kinds of different voices, whether it's environmental, social justice, whether it's trends about culture, life, art. It's all here for you, and it only happens once a year, and we really hope many of you will come out. One of the things that's going to happen on Saturday at the library at 10 o'clock, which is a new event, is a live podcast that will be co-hosted by Kimberly Skirm, one of our board members, producer, director to a number of films, and Rose Rosen of Casting Confidential. They will moderate a dynamic live podcast featuring the celebrity John O'Hurley. Now, many of you may not know John O'Hurley, but he was Elaine's boss in Seinfeld. He's very funny. He's very erudite, and he's a wonderful speaker. He's very generous, and he will be there to greet you all so you can meet John. 2 of his films will be included in the festival this year, later that day at 2 o'clock at the Ebenezer. One is called Now What? And the other one is called a sneak preview of a film coming up called Ring of Kibo. Between those 2 shorts is a film that's also receiving Best Narrative Feature called The Other You. One of the things we emphasize is films made in Maryland. We're in Maryland, so we love sponsoring and bringing in filmmakers from Maryland. Another short that we've got playing, I believe it's on Sunday, is by a director named Danielle Weinberg, and she will be here with her short film noir film that's a comedy, really, called Invasion 53. Don't miss it. So I think the other thing I want you to know is that Saturday night, we have a beautiful film that won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. It's called the Anatomy of a Fall, and it's a thriller. That starts, I believe, at 6:15 on Saturday evening. You won't be sorry. It's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. Also, our closing feature on Sunday evening is called Holding Liat. It's a documentary directed by Brandon Kramer about an Israeli-American family confronting conflicting perspectives as they fight for their daughter's release and the future of their homeland. So some of the subjects we cover are tough, but these are very fragile times. It's good to come to the table if you have differences with people. This is meant to be a healing experience for everyone, a networking experience, a familial experience where you can meet new people, solve new problems, make new plans. Shall I go ahead and thank our sponsors really quickly right here?
Yes, please.
Is that be helpful? We have major sponsors to do what we do annually, and we are so grateful for them. We are immensely grateful for them. One is called Shared Earth Foundation, who helps us immensely in the area of environmental filmmaking and programming and our operations. We also have the Artistic Insights Fund, Blue Point Hospitality, Maryland Humanities, Maryland State Arts Council, Talbot Arts, the Maryland Film Office, individuals like Maxine Millar, Richard and Beverly Tillman, Al and Eleanor Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Angelo Magafan, Bill and Thomas Lux, Laser Letters, wonderful media sponsors in the Talbot Spy, who's hosting this podcast today for us and many others, MPT, Tidewater Times, What's Up Media, and many other publications. So we thank you all for everything you do to help make this festival successful every year, and to all of the patrons who come out to watch our films. You are essential to what we do. We would have no reason to do what we do without you. So thank you so much.
Sid, thank you. It honestly, if I didn't know anything about the festival, I would be super excited to attend. We have such an array of genres. And one of the things I'd like to emphasize is we support local and emerging filmmakers. I was one of those. I feel like I still am one of those. And the support around young filmmakers who are just learning, it's everything. These people are passionate storytellers, they're passionate advocates. And so we like to think that our festival is a platform for that, and we do a lot for student filmmakers. We look at a lot of different films. This year we had so many films coming from around the world. It was such an honor to receive all the submissions that we received. It makes us, I think, feel really good as a festival, and it's very validating. And I also want to point out, the Chesapeake Film Festival, it's like a destination festival. I mean, Sid's talking about the films and they're amazing, but when you come to historic Easton, Maryland, you are guaranteed a good meal. The food is outstanding. The community is outstanding. The shopping is outstanding. You're right near water. I mean,
the hotels.
You're in a beautiful part of Maryland. So when you're here, we'd encourage you, make a weekend of it or stay overnight. Stay, be present to the environment. There's a lot here in Easton. So we're very honored that our festival takes place in Easton because it really is a destination festival. And we do prioritize films made in Maryland, films about the environment. I just think we do a great job of introducing many different genres, and Sid and her team have done such a great job this year of picking films that really, they're on a whole spectrum, and it's just very inclusive. There's a wide, diverse range of stories. And we hope that when you come to the festival, you'll come with an open mind to learn something new, as Sid said, maybe to solve a problem, maybe just to sit back and enjoy learning about new characters, hearing a story from someone. It's about narratives. It's about inspiration. It's about conflict resolution, our environment, our changing planet, climate change. It's about everything. And we're exposing all of these incredible narratives to you. So we hope that you'll be able to sit back and really take in the stories, take in the characters. And we hope for you, it's an experience that you can walk away with feeling really good about. What do you think, Sid? I wanted to ask you, this year in particular, what does the festival mean to you? Can you talk a little bit about can you talk a little bit about what our theme is and what that means to you personally?
Sure. And before we go there, I do want to make sure I let our listeners know that there is a full day of programming at the Academy Art Museum, a whole other array of fabulous, several shorts blocks. And films will roll there from 10 to 5:15 at night.
Right.
So you can come in, buy a ticket just for one block, buy a ticket for the whole shebang, but it's there for you. As Irene said, it's all there for you. And we have done this for you. Um, in terms of a theme, that's really a good question. And it's one I have to think about a little bit. I mean, I would certainly say that the overriding theme are environmental concerns. I like when I curate, I like something for everyone. So I don't like to pigeonhole. So we're only doing environmental films. We have festivals that are dedicated to that, such as the Environmental Film Festival in Washington, D.C.
Mhm.
So I like to have an array because the other thing is, we have to compete really with Netflix and with people who are so used to being in their jammies to watch all the programming. Getting them to come out is an art in itself. Getting everyone excited about. But there's also still nothing like sitting in a theater
Yeah.
with a bunch of people and watching the same thing, and to hear people's reactions, to
Yes.
see if you laugh when somebody else laughs or not, or what did you think about that film, or is there clapping after the film or
Yeah.
not, or are the filmmakers here? We
Yep.
have the blessing, as Irene and I have been describing, of having many filmmakers present to talk in the Q&As following their films. So you get to find out about the production.
Yeah.
You get to find out about what the trials were and meet the teams, the crews. And so I would say, our theme is community. The community in a very broad sense of every participant. It's
Yes.
very Shakespearean. This is
Yes.
very theatrical.
Yes.
Pick a role
It's great.
and you can be that person for 3 days or the rest of your life. We lost Robert Redford 2 days ago.
Oh,
He's
so
been an
devastating.
immense influence on me and everybody in this industry. Immense. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, so I had the opportunity to go to
Mm.
Sundance
Mm.
probably 6 times
Wow.
to
Wow.
see some of the best films I've ever seen in my life. So I was influenced very on and learned very early on. I actually started with the AFI. I started with the American Film Institute as a writer, as a reviewer of films, I would write, and then they would select films based on what was written. So that's kind of where I started. But anyway, and I've also done films, as Irene knows, of my own. And I'm cataloging a lot of my early films right now that were done in the 70s, 80s, on 16, on Super 8, early films, and, bringing them back for a second life. So most of the people who are on our board at this juncture are filmmakers, directors, producers. We're staffed that way because we need their expertise. They commit to what we're doing because they are directly engaged with the trade. But anyway, as for a theme, I would say community would be the word, and inclusive. Irene and I really see this issue of inclusivity the same.
Yeah.
And we love working with each other. We've worked with each other for years. We've mentored. You know what I mean? She's supported me. I've supported her. But inclusion is a hugely important subject for us. We want everybody to feel included. Everyone, virtually.
That's right. And that's why it's called this year Our Bay, Our World, Our Festival.
Mhm.
It's not ours, it's everyone's. It's all
Mhm.
encompassing. And we hope that you feel that when you experience the festival this year, right, Sid?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought our tag forward. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Well, I'd like to talk a couple more things about you before we end the podcast. But this has been so great so far. A lot of great interest, a lot of like rich information about the festival, the films behind the festival, what we represent, what we're all about. I'd like to know, what do you represent?
Mhm.
Who are you at heart? You know, I know you're an artist, you wear many hats, but Sid Collins Walker, like at the heart, who are you, and what gets you up in the morning? You know, what gets you moving? What are you passionate about?
Irene, you're such a good interviewer. Honestly, I mean, if you're looking for just a couple of words that represent me, I mean, love would be the first one. Kindness would be the second. That's what I represent. That's who I am. That's what I do. And so, but as for my core, my family also has always played a big part in my life, both as it pertains to this industry and every other aspect of my life. Um, we probably don't have time today, but I'd really like to do a biopic about my father.
Mm,
My father was captain in the United States Army,
mm,
and he, at 28, contracted polio
mm.
and was put in an iron lung. And he was in an iron lung for 6 months, and everyone on his ward died but him.
Wow.
So it's an incredible story, and it's one I definitely would want to tell.
Yeah.
And this interview, and coming into this interview, helped me realize that is something I should do. But as for what I represent, I would say love, kindness, family, community.
Hmm.
Those are my values. I think values are really, really, really critical now more than ever. And so when I go curate, I'm thinking about those values. I want those values to be reflected in what we do so that everyone feels a certain level of security and participation.
Yeah. Well, and also, this is a fun fact about Sid. You're a twin, and I'd love to know, you know, really, because I'm not a twin. I would love to know, how does that kind of shape your own identity? What was that like for you growing? I know we have a film in the festival that actually includes twins, so it's a very fascinating story.
Mhm.
Don't
Are
include me,
you're
one day.
talking about photophobia, right?
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. We'll
photophobia.
talk a little bit about photophobia right here, and I also want to talk about elbow grease. I
Great.
don't know if you've seen that one yet, but
Mm-mm.
um, being a twin is the most, it's so cool. I'm not lying. It is cool because you really do have a psychic connection
Mm,
with your sibling. You're that close. And she always stood up for me, and I always stood up for her. So we still remain extremely close. She's actually an equestrian and rides thoroughbreds every day. So we have very different. I was always involved and interested in art and culture my whole life, and she was interested in the equine
mm.
reality.
Wow.
So we're very different, but we're extremely close, and we remain very, very. We talk almost every day, for sure. She's on the other side of the country. She's in
Hmm.
Washington State, and here I am, in Maryland. So we don't see each other as much as we'd like to, but we make an effort to do so at least every other year or every year, definitely.
That's nice. That's really nice. So, how does that kind of? I know
Oh,
there's.
oh, and there's one other thing I want to say here,
Yeah.
because when you're a twin, and this manifested itself in my art
Uh huh.
very early on, when I would do compositions, I would do diptychs
Oh.
or works in two parts. I would do works in two parts, and I didn't even know why I was doing so many works in two parts, but I'm sure it had everything to do with the fact that I'm a twin. So you have this whole binary way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also one of the reasons I love to collaborate with other people.
Mm-hmm.
to socialize with other people. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated. I was always fascinated with my twin sister when I was tiny. You know, my dad would get us out there and, you know, teach us sports and,
Yeah.
you know, but I always had a companion.
Right.
So it's been a wonderful life,
Yeah,
truly.
that's so nice. Well, I know there's some parallel action between photophobia and you being a twin, like what you're talking about. Can you tell our audience a little bit about this unique film that's been brought to us?
Yes. Photophobia came to us from Slovakia.
Wow.
It's an amazing film. It's part of our film block called A Candle in the Dark, and it screens on Saturday, October 11th at the Ebenezer at 4:30 p.m. It's about an adolescent boy and girl that meet under the ground in the subway system while the Ukrainian war rages on above.
Wow.
It's about friendship that is formed between these two for survival.
Mm.
So it's you know, we like to bring in voices from other countries and other perspectives.
Yes.
We need to be sensitive to what's going on in the Ukraine. We need to understand it, and we need to help in any way that we can.
Yeah.
Elbow Grease is another short that I love that's got a young person in it. It's very funny. It's at the Ebenezer Theater on Saturday, October 11th at 11:45 a.m. in our segments, Love and Passion, Stories of Love and Passion. It's about a latchkey kid who takes action to get the gift he wants after receiving a less than desirable gift. So it's very funny. It's sweet. I loved it. There's just a lot of poetry in this entire festival. You know, it's Shakespearean in that way.
Yeah. A lot of great titles, great filmmakers, a lot of amazing things to note. So we hope you will join us this year. You can also check out all the trailers on our website. So we're very excited about that. If you kind of want to whet your appetite, go online to ChesapeakeFilmFestival.com and you can view the trailers. Please also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We have promotional videos out right now. We're always we're always tagging different films and talking about them. So we'd like to punch a little bit here and there, give you a little taste of the festival here and there on our social channels. So please look out for those. Again, this whole festival, this whole experience, right, would not be possible without you. It's not possible without our community, our amazing supporters, our amazing sponsors. Just wouldn't happen. And so we are incredibly appreciative. And that's why we work really hard every year to deliver something of merit, to deliver something that you all will take note of and remember. Thank you again for watching this podcast.
Yeah.
Sid, this was amazing. Thank you so much for all the inside baseball knowledge of the festival. You know, this was really fun. You know, it gives people an idea of what the festival is, some of the, a sneak peek of some of the films and the titles and why we choose what we choose and, what you're all about, what the festival is all about. Thank you.
And there is one film I did not talk about that I want to do a quick little talk about.
Sure.
It's called Buscando Alma. It's another short. I saw it at the Annapolis Film Festival. Please check the schedule to determine exactly where it is because I didn't write that down. But it comes to us from a Los Angeles director named Melissa Fisher. It's about a Honduran immigrant who is given the chance to meet her mother after nearly 2 decades of separation. As she grapples with the uncertainty of their reunion, she is confronted by the tumultuous memories of her past and the fact that she may not be what her mother is expecting. So it's a magnificent film. Please try to see it.
Wonderful. Thank you for mentioning that as well. Well, if there isn't anything else, we covered a lot of good meat of this podcast. I think it's a rich podcast. We have a lot. We covered a lot. So I think we're good. If you're good, I'm good.
We're good.
We're good.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
See
all
you at
so
the
much for
movies.
watching.